We are live, and we are going to be talking tonight about a couple different things. First and foremost is I'm going to be going through my Vinegar Syndrome catalog of titles. Now, if you're not yet aware, I am going to be this week on Just to This podcast with Brian Sawyer talking about a couple Vinegar Syndrome titles. So excited and nervous about that. So I figured, for my longtime viewers and for anybody that comes in and sees this, you're kind of going to get an idea of my channel and some of my likes. Over the last year and a half to 2 years, I've really dove deep into Vinegar Syndrome. I've done a lot of videos talking about this stuff. Hey, Day Katana. Hey, Andy, how's it going? And what I should let everybody know, like Day Katana and Andy here are regulars in the movie club. Whether you're coming here for the first time or you're a long-time viewer, interaction is definitely is definitely encouraged. Talking to me and talking to one another, like respectfully, definitely is something that I do encourage. Tonight I'm going to be going through my entire Vinegar Syndrome label and kind of giving you an idea. Label. I wish I had of my collection of Vinegar Syndrome titles, and kind of giving you an idea of exactly, I guess maybe how I became known for Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Most people here know this because no. That come here all the time. Day Katana and Andy, for instance, they know I'm kind of a big proponent, a big fan of Vinegar Syndrome. Often what I'll do before I start into the collection, and this sometimes it loses me viewers, sometimes it gains me viewers, is that I'll talk about a couple other things that have gone on. So right now I'm going to leave that part till the last of it. I'm going to go right into the Vinegar Syndrome. I got a lot of Blu-rays and just a few DVDs. Some of them are out of print, so I will go through those and I'll give you my ideas and my thoughts. I have a wide variety when it comes to Vinegar Syndrome, so I collect a lot of their different titles. So we'll look into that. But let's start out with the DVDs. Now, when it comes to the DVD stuff, I don't have a huge number of this. Hey, Carlos, welcome, dude. The last thing to watch before I sleep. Hopefully, you don't have horrible dreams from this, Carlos. Tonight we are talking Vinegar Syndrome. I'm going through all my Vinegar Syndrome titles, and by the way, Just to This podcast, if you have not checked it out, please check it out. Brian does a great job on it. Brian and Rob, Brian and Stephanie, Brian, whoever he has on there. Hopefully even me. We'll see. I'm nervous about it. I'm not going to lie. But let's start off the Vinegar Syndrome stuff right away. And if you have any thoughts or questions or anything, that's why we're interactive. That's why we're live. So let's start with that. So first off is Runaway Nightmare. Now this actually is a really fun one. It's one that originally came out on Vinegar Syndrome, and they had like the rights to do like 1,000 Blu-rays. You know, it was very limited anyway. So this thing here actually sold fairly fast. Vinegar Syndrome titles have been known to sell a lot faster now, especially they've gotten a name. Now when I started talking about Vinegar Syndrome, not a lot of people were unless you knew like the adult stuff, not a lot of people were looking at them. But they've started doing a lot more stuff. I know that I think it's Brad. Steph is here. She could correct me if I'm wrong. But Brad Henderson does from Screamcast does stuff. You just saw Body Melt. Isn't Body Melt such an amazing movie? I don't own Body Melt yet, Carlos. I really need that one. That one I got like a history with. I had it back when it was in a screener before it even came out on VHS. But this one here is a weird. If you love weird films, Mike Cartel does this one, and he does a very different film called Pets, which will come out later on in Vinegar Syndrome. One that I'm actually really, really familiar with. Now, this is strange. I normally don't read the backs of things, but I think I have to for this one because it's really odd and fun. So, after discovering a woman buried alive, 2 Death Valley worm farmers are kidnapped by an all-female cult of gun runners who, after making the men into their sex slaves, force them to assist in the plan to steal a suitcase full of plutonium from the mafia. Hey, Brian, I just mentioned Just to This, actually. Yeah, so Runaway Nightmare is a lot of fun. It is super cheesy, and it is by Mike Cartel, who did Pets. Pets is actually one of my favorite personal Vinegar Syndrome titles. You know I will, man. This one has a commentary with director Mike Cartel and some alternate video scenes as well. I don't think I've looked at the alternate scenes, but it's super, super cool. Now, what's neat about this is this has the old booklet in it. Yeah, it's worth checking out, Anthony. So, Vinegar Syndrome did exploitation TV. Now, before that became exploitation TV, it was going to be called Skinaflix. That was going to be their. I actually do too. Hey, Michael. I know. That's why I've got the DVD. I would love to see another pressing. Or I'm kind of disappointed when they did those 5 years, 5 movies things that they didn't give a redo of this one. But they did have a limited edition on it, and maybe they're Vinegar Syndrome are guys that I gotta say are kind of men of their word. If they do an edition of a film, and say they're doing like one that's got 2,000 copies, and somebody goes out and orders like 6 copies of that film, of that limited edition, you're not getting 6 copies of that film. They'll let you have a max of like 1 or 2 copies, and then you can actually. I forgot something. I hope you'll engage me for 1 second. I've got to grab something upstairs that is very important, and I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. One person's already gone somewhere. My upstairs isn't very far away. I just need to go grab something, and we'll be right back. I've got a lot of Vinegar Syndrome to show you guys. Stay right there and talk amongst yourselves. Say evil, mean things about me. I miss you guys too. All right, so I apologize. I'll explain. I am epileptic. So if I remember, if I forget that I've taken my pills, I have to run and do that. And I realized that I hadn't taken them tonight. So I apologize, but that's not something I want to see live on video. Now next up is a double feature. Now, Vinegar Syndrome do these things called their drive-in collection, and they got some really cool stuff. Holy crap! You've got Move Madness as on Blu-ray. That is, I don't have any bubbly here tonight. Actually, I've had to lay it off on the bubbly a bit. So you're diabetic? Epileptic. This one is actually really cool. The double features, you gotta have at least one good one, but both of these are actually good. I do recommend this one highly if you don't have it. And this is this one right here, and it has Death Force and Vampire Hookers. Now, Death Force, super. So make sure you take care of yourself, Andy. Mike. Death Force here is a super cool movie by Cirio Santiago. Me and my better half, we both love Cirio Santiago films. It's one of those guys that we absolutely. It's a good one, Michael. It's a really good one. It's cheesy. It's fun. It's insane. It's really out there, and you can't stop watching it. It's one of those films. And the other film, actually, Vampire Hookers, is also done by Cirio Santiago. If you look up Santiago's stuff, he does a lot of kind of really cool out there stuff. Now, Vampire Hookers actually has John Carradine in it, a guy that, you know, pretty much can't find a script he doesn't like. And actually, this one is kind of cool. There's this, I don't know if he's a Renfield type character, if you want to call him that. in this movie. Has anybody else seen Vampire Hookers? You know this one? He's kind of like a goofy looking character. And I think I've seen him play bad guys in other Serious Santiago movies. He's in this one, and he's just like hilarious. Some of it is intentional. Some of it is unintentional. You know what I'm talking about, right? The guy that wants to be a vampire all throughout the film. He's kind of the Renfield for the girls, and he's like desperately wants to be a vampire really bad all throughout the film. If you have not seen this movie, I recommend Vampire Hookers. It is really, really good. This is a great double feature. If you haven't checked it out and you like these kind of like fun Z-grade movies and you're a fan of Serial Santiago, if you're not a fan of Serial Santiago, this will make you a fan. If you are a fan, this is just going to cement it. Now, the next one was a limited edition. Astro Zombies is one of my favorite Z-grade films because it is so super cheesy. That was put out by Vinegar, by Kino, and it's one that we've watched a few times. Nothing beats Ted V. Michaels, exactly, and nothing beats the scene where the Astro Zombie gets the thing like knocked off of him, so he has to take a flashlight and put it to his head and like run back to the laboratory. It is hilarious. And trust me, that is not Ted V. Michaels' worst film. Not even close. So, yeah. Next up is Cutthroats. Now, Cutthroats is one that was directed by John Hayes. Now, if you're familiar with Grave the Vampires, that's one that's coming out from Scream Factory, actually, this year. They announced it to my excitement. And, yeah, I think he made this one probably after. After he made, a Cutthroats fan, yes. After he made Grave the Vampires. Because I know Michael Pataki, who was in Grave the Vampires, actually does a small role in this as well. And I think he did it kind of like as a thank you to John Hayes. This was a limited edition one. If it's still available, definitely snap it up. For the longest time, this was one of the ones, because it was a DVD and not a Blu-ray limited edition, people were like missing it. And there's around 1,500 of these. It's a 2K restoration. Definitely a good scan. Fun film. Now, this is not a movie for kids. There are these, it's got that dreaded X rating, but it's a very light X. I wouldn't consider this a serious X rating. It's on the 5 years blue too. Is it really? Is that on? That's not. Must be on the second volume, right? Because I've got the first volume. Hey, morning, Wolf. We're talking Vinegar Syndrome and Cutthroats. Again, this is a Nazi exploitation film. So you either like Nazi exploitation films, or you don't. Now, the next two we're going to dive into, I won't dive into too hardly because they're adult-oriented films, but most of the ones here, that I'm going to talk about aren't. So, I keep my channel kind of PG because I want everybody to be able to watch it. Now, Sex in the Comics is another one, and it's very. I wanted this one because it had like special features where it shows Volume 4. See, I don't have Volume 4 yet. I got to get that. Because this has two bonus ones on it, called like Sex Tunes, which is an 82-minute like basically adult cartoons, and another one called The Funky World of Adult Cartoons, which runs for 45 minutes long. The Sex in the Comics one was basically a live-action adult film. Hey, Sarah, where the background was made to look like actual comic panels from the early comic strips that would come out, and some of the characters were actually done up to look like comic book characters. Certain aspects of that movie is the thing of nightmares. I'm not going to lie to you. It is definitely the thing of nightmares. But for a curio's sake, and as somebody that collects all genres of film, it's always good to have something in like in certain different genres. That's like, I love vampire films. The 5-year volumes don't have any special features, Carlos. The special features for the 5-year volumes is the fact that you're getting movies that were only on DVD. You're getting all of them on Blu-ray with Blu-ray things. So if you really like them and you like the Blu-ray, whenever they have a sale going on, I'll be honest with you, the DVDs are super like dirt cheap. So if you really want to dive into one and you're like, I really liked this movie here, let's see if it has any features on the DVD. You can make yourself an Ultimate Edition. Sometimes the DVD will have special features like a commentary, some extras on there, but it's great to get the 5 years, five movie sets. They're you know, it's a Blu-ray upgrade, and you can dive into 5 movies, maybe in a genre that you weren't quite sure of. And if you want to get the DVD afterwards for those features, make yourself an Ultimate Edition, because that's what they're doing. Next up is Dracula Sucks. Now, this was an X-rated, you know, film that was actually done in 2 versions. There was an X-rated film and a version and an R-rated version, like was often done back in the day. This one here stars Jamie Gillis, who is very famous in the adult film industry as being one of the best actors when it comes to adult films. He had an edginess to him. This one here, one of the reasons I got this, aside from the fact that I saw this when I was way too young to see it, is that it actually has an audio commentary with the late Bill Margold on it. They returned to the shooting locations as well. So it's a 2-disc set, and it has the alternate Lust at First Bite softcore edition. So if you're somebody that doesn't like adult films, like sometimes what they'll do is they'll put because certain movies like Sex World, for instance, I'll have a really good softcore cut of it, so you don't have to watch the X-rated cut if you don't want to. Hey, Death Bomb, how's it going? Cry Wilderness, yes, I love that. And wasn't that the best of the Mystery Science Theater that came out last year? All right, everything from here on out, guys, is going to be Blu-ray. I'll leave the collector's editions till last, so I've got a few to show you. I'm going to go through my blue cases first, and then I'll go through my white cases, because Vinegar Syndrome went from blue to white cases. I got to show you some of these. So first off, great cover, okay movie, and it's by Alfredo Zacharias. Oh yeah, Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood of Dracula, or Blood for Dracula, are the 2 movies you're talking about. They both had Udo Kier in them, and there's a gallbladder line that I'm not going to repeat for my younger viewers, but it's definitely like one of those quotable films. I especially love the vampire one, the Dracula one. Yeah, one time did have a Criterion release. Thanks, Teknana. Because it is the humor in that is just kind of over the top. Now, you can't get them in Criterion anymore. Those are both out of print. However, there is I think it might be an umbrella release that put out those other, both Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood for Dracula. So you can check those out through the Australian places like JB Hi-Fi, and the Australian dollar are a little bit lower than us right now. So it actually makes for, you know, like getting some of their stuff actually pretty good. Demonoid is the first of my blue case Vinegar Syndromes, and it's a fun little film. It has a great cover, a wonderful wealth of features on here, and to show the inside, because there's if you've seen Alfredo Zacharias, you know the type of stuff you're getting into. He made movies like The Bees, for instance, which were actually really good. Almost really. You own more than me, Movie Man, as I'm super jealous. And dude, you're welcome. But that's the cool thing about this, is that I find out stuff through you guys as well. Because through talking to you, by making this live and talking to you guys on here, you guys get me to spend money too. And that is something that I appreciate. My better half doesn't always appreciate it, but I definitely do. Do you have Demonoid? Demonoid's a strange one. It's definitely a good film. Every DVD. If I could do that, I certainly would. Talk to the companies that I work with, that should work with me. Come on. So Vinegar Syndrome, you want to give out some free Blu-rays? I don't think so. Unfortunately, the Vinegar Syndromes and Code Reds and the Scream Factors of the world do not see my channel, which I wish they did. Hey, Scalder, how's it going, man? We are talking Vinegar Syndrome, and this is Demonoid. If anybody got any words to talk about Demonoid, honestly, it's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm not really going to go into that one. I'm not going to lie and say I remember it really well. I actually don't. One that I do remember pretty good is this one right here, Massage Parlor Murders. This is actually one that I really do kind of like. It is a very low budget film. You do get to see like a lot of New York, a lot of 42nd Street, which is really, really good. It's definitely a time capsule of a film. It's an odd little film. I can't remember, actually. It's been a long time. You mean Samantha Eggar? She may have been, but yes, she was, actually. Good call, because I'd forgotten that. Massage Parlor Murders is one that a lot of people forget about. It's got like a weird cover. People tend to bypass it, and they really shouldn't. If you're a fan of like this style of film, of kind of like the lower budget, say if you're a fan of, what's his name? If you like Frank Henenlotter stuff, this is not like Frank Henenlotter stuff, but in the style of the atmosphere. Or no, better yet, I guess if you like Miss 45, the Abel Ferrer stuff, then I kind of has kind of a low budget, kind of grungy feel like that. It really has that it actually has that kind of type of feel to it, and it's nice to see that. I didn't get to see 42nd Street in its heyday, so these movies here are these little time capsules of films are actually the closest thing that I'm ever going to get to it. Hey, John Steele, how's it going, man? The real deal, John Steele, right there. Okay, I love this movie. I don't know why. This is really horrible, though it has one of the most beautiful covers I have ever seen on VHS or DVD or Blu-ray. So this is Nightmare Weekend. What should you know about this? You should know this is a film. It's directed by Henry Sala, and what the neat thing about this is that it was directed by a French director who actually did a lot of like adult stuff before this. This is not an adult film. Hey, dude. And this was he was working with a primarily English cast, so you can imagine how this went. So a lot of the script got rewritten. Unfortunately, some of the translation didn't come over. Now, what's really neat is that Dale Midkiff, yes, Dale Midkiff from Pet Sematary, and if you watch the old series Time Track, she used to come on back in the day, he's one of the stars of this film. This is one of those films, much like kind of like Troll 2, where there definitely is a Lost in Translation vibe going. I don't mean the movie Lost in Translation. I mean like you can tell that the people behind the scenes and the people in front of the camera really don't know what each other are talking about, and it makes for a crazy, insane film. You get to see silver balls that go around and change into different things, a puppet that talks to a girl and gives her love life advice. It also almost kills somebody. You get to see some pretty gory deaths in this one here. Some people turn into kind of zombies, and one weird ending. But Nightmare Weekend is not to be missed. In the next Vinegar Syndrome sale, I do recommend, if you don't have this one, dude, I recommend it. One, it's going to look hella good in your collection. Just look at that. Come on. I don't think he's retired. As Cronenberg retired, maybe just waiting for the right film. And like the others, it has like the dual release. And pick this one up if you don't have it. Brian, if you're there and you don't have Nightmare Weekend, get Nightmare Weekend. Do not watch it like in front of Raven, but definitely get Nightmare Weekend. It's a good film. Now, speaking of Ted V. Michaels, no, this is Nightmare Weekend. Actually, is basically just a crazy film. I think you like it, John. It's super crazy. I think another one you're talking about, I can't remember the name of it right now, but none of these here are going to be anthology films. They did recently do an anthology film, basically called, I'm not sure it's called Alien Zone or something like that. But this is Ted V. Michaels. This is the Doll Squad and the kind of like remake / sequel Mission Kill Fast. Now, both of these here kind of strongly resemble Charlie's Angels in the way that they're done. Now, one thing you should know is the Doll Squad came out years before Charlie's Angels. So that is something to take into consideration. This again, a lot of these here, especially this is region free. A lot of these here are region free, guys. There's like a commentary on the Doll Squad here, video interview with Ted V. Michaels for both of the films, and they actually do an interview with one of the actresses there, Frances York. Both of them are on one Blu-ray disc, but it's super cool, and it does have like a reversible cover for Mission Kill Fast. And I do highly recommend it if you like the cheesy action exploitation films, because that's what this is. Next up is an anthology film. There's an anthology film here, John. Bloody New Year. Actually, yes, it is by Norman J. Warren. It's one of those that I always used to see in the video stores, but I don't remember seeing it very strongly. If it's the one I'm thinking about, it's about these guys after midnight. Oh, okay. That's actually from Scream Factory. If it's the one I'm thinking about, it's about these guys and girls that end up on this island. I won't give too much away because you're going to see the movie. There's like, it's not so much of a slasher film as it's like kind of a haunted type of film. It's kind of sort of a haunted island. So definitely a fun little film by Norman J. Warren. One of his stranger ones. I have to get that one myself, and it's not like there's The Prey and The Terror. I wouldn't put it up there with The Prey and The Terror, but it's definitely a fun. It's definitely going to be a fun little watch. I'm actually looking forward to checking that one out, and maybe I will talk about that one in the future. Praise is, for me, Praise is the best thing he's done that I've seen, that I remember seeing anyway. Now, there may be Norman J. Warren films that I've seen. I just don't remember that they're Norman J. Warren films. But the most recent ones I've seen are Prey and Terror. I love both of those films. If you haven't got Terror, I do recommend getting that one. It's kind of like Suspiria if Suspiria wasn't done by Argento. So yeah, I think you'll get. It's a fun little film. I don't think it's up there with Prey, but it's definitely worth a watch. And it's one that I need to dive into before I can actually give you like an honest assessment of the film. But through seeing it years ago on VHS, that's probably about as much as I can remember about the film. Night Train to Terror. This is the very first Vinegar Syndrome that I watched, and it's probably the one that got me as a slip. I was lucky enough that was like gifted to me from James, who I haven't seen here in a while. So hopefully we get to see James back in the movie club soon. Night Train to Terror. Who hasn't seen this movie? Because see this movie. It is an anthology film of sorts. It is 3 films that weren't completely finished. Oh, dude, this is awesome. This one's awesome. And welcome, Convoy, by the way. That sounds like a new name here. You got your January package Friday. I'm actually ordering from the January and February package because... well, we'll see, because I want to do some talking about it. Night Train to Terror, fantastic little film. What's really cool about this one, what is awesome about this release, is it has actually, I never thought I'd see any of these films in their completed versions. Now the second film here called Greta actually comes on a bonus DVD with the complete version. The complete version of Greta. Now, Greta is one of the strangest films in the Night Train to Terror trilogy of films. But I really enjoyed this film. You've got the theme, really? That sticks in my... Every time I watch this movie, days later, it kind of sticks in my head. And everybody's got something to do. Everybody but you. I think this was an early one that The Stair Continues did like a commentary on, because done a commentary on a few of these. Yeah, that would be interesting. I might actually be interested in getting... So I would love to see a Night Train to Terror slip. There's a few of these that I would... Nightmare Weekend, and Massage Parlor Murders, those were ones I would love to see slips for. If they weren't too expensive, I would definitely buy a slip. Like somebody that didn't have them already could get a slip release. Night Train to Terror is the one that definitely would benefit from having a slip. Slip for Madman, this is a good one. Pigs, I don't have Pigs yet, so yeah, I'd definitely buy Pigs with a slip. Now here's one that is out of print, though you can still buy the DVD edition of this one. I had to have this one just because I love these kind of cheesy super films, and it is The Crypt of the Living Dead and The House of the Living Dead. What? Somebody gave Night Train to Terror a bad review? Those bastards. No, it's not a good film, but it's a fun film. It's one that people watch it over and over again. Nobody goes in watching a movie called Night Train to Terror and says, you know what? This is going to be something Olivier would be in. No, you don't. If you do, you're fooling yourself. People that like these movies, that like these Z-grade type movies, people like me, weirdos like me, know exactly what you're getting into. I never listen to reviews for these type of films because the reviews are always going to be horrible, unless it's from me or somebody like me that really likes this stuff. Even the people that like this stuff, like often what they do is they make fun of it. No, this is not the Uwe one. This is a good edition. Hey, Hoax. I would love to see Vinegar Syndrome do the Ilsa trilogy. I think that they are the perfect company to do it, and nobody would do a better job of it than Vinegar Syndrome. It would be really hard. I mean, Arrow, maybe, but definitely Vinegar Syndrome would do an amazing job. So this one here, one of these has Andrew Prine in it. I think that's Crypt the Living Dead, but I'm not quite sure. And I'm a huge fan. Dude, you've got to get into Vinegar Syndrome, Voodoo Magic. They just have some amazing stuff. So, next up is one that pretty much everybody that I've introduced this one to likes, and everybody has liked it before. So, yeah. And that is Christmas Evil. So, Christmas Evil is the most Christmassy horror film you're ever going to see. There's your Silent Night, your Deadly Nights, there's your Don't Open Till Christmas, but nothing is more Christmas horror than Christmas Evil. And I will stand by that. I love the Christmas horror films, but Christmas Evil, I love Black Christmas is my favorite film of all time. This is more Christmassy though. And if you've seen, I don't want to give away the twist at the end of the film, but the end of the film, don't go into the woods. You did? Oh, did you like it, Scalder? Don't you understand what I mean when I say the end of this movie makes this the most Christmassy horror movie of all time? Because the end twist on this film is awesome. It's not something you can see coming. I was gonna say it was a bad one. Yeah, it's not something you can see coming because it is so insanely crazy that yeah, but that ending's what makes it. All that stuff that goes on, and all of a sudden, the way that ending goes is like, wow, I guess he's about the most Christmassy Christmas killer that we're gonna get. Next up is one that a lot of people have, and that is Raw Force. I won't go into this one too much. I agree, Michael. Now, Raw Force is super cheesy. It's got like everything that that one of these type of films should have. It's got kung fu. It's got zombies. Actually has the Burbank Kung Fu Club here. Yeah, a lot of love for the ending of Christmas Evil, and I totally agree. And it has Cameron Mitchell because Cameron Mitchell does all these things. Definitely check this one out if you like this. They have a sale right now. I didn't know that. So, okay, well, there you go. Is there a sale on their own site, or is it on like, the on Diabolique? Because Diabolique does a lot of sales as well. So, if they're having a sale right now, this is the most fortuitous thing that I've ever seen. I'm not quite seeing any sales stuff, but then again, I'm only looking at it on my phone. Now, some of these are lower priced, I know that much. But if Vinegar Syndrome has a sale, guys, definitely look into it. Raw Force, cheesy, kung fu, zombie, horror, action, hybrid, with lots of exploitation, and definitely worth seeing. And interviewed with the guy that edited this movie was Jim Wynorski. So, if you know Jim Wynorski, you know what you're going to get with this film there. He's definitely has a big part of it. Now, this one that I saw early on, and I don't remember. So I saw it back when I saw Demonoid. I don't remember this one very well. So if anybody else has seen this one, I want to give like a better description of it than I can. Definitely do so. This actually is, I remember this being a pretty good release. Cinematography by Joel King, who did Just Before Dawn. I'm actually looking on the back here to see. And supporting performance by Jeffrey Combs. So, yeah, and that is Frightmare. Love the cover to this one right here. This one sold me on cover alone because I didn't remember Frightmare for the long time. I think This is the one about like an actor that dies and kind of is brought back, like a horror actor, kind of a Vincent Price, you know, style actor. But definitely, like, you know, was a very cool one. So those are my blue cases. Now we're going to get into the white cases, which tend to be my have some of my favorite releases that Vinegar Syndrome ever put out. So let's start out with Luther the Geek. This is one that I'd seen years ago and I kind of liked, but I wasn't quite sure on it. So when this one was sent my way, gross movie. Not as gross as you'd think, actually. Especially considering what I've watched in the last few days. Luther the Geek, the guy sells it. You gotta, he has great teeth. Yeah, he's got those sparkly whites. For a movie like this, you can't half-ass it, or it's gonna fail. It's really gonna fail. This actually stars somebody that would go on like to fame basically in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the film, and would actually later go on to soap opera fame as well, which is Stacey Haddock. She actually has. I was a huge fan of Stacey Haddock and had a super crush on her. So when I realized it was her in this, I was extra happy. But the guy that plays Luther goes all in. He really plays the character, and he does, for a film like this, he does an amazingly realistic portrayal of this character. What's it about? So basically, there's a young boy that sees a geek that the town pretty much they've cornered, and they've put him into this barn, and he had like throw chickens his way, like to bite heads off chickens. That's what geeks did, and he kind of he becomes like fascinated with them, and the boy kills. So he goes to jail, and years later he's let out, and he's got like these metallic teeth. Because he really is fascinated with the geek lifestyle. He's become a geek himself, and except he's not biting heads off of chickens, he's biting into the necks of people. That's why he went to jail in the first place. And when he comes out, they say he's reformed and all this, but it's obvious that he is definitely not reformed. It actually has a really fascinating like little story, and it takes the place over like a day, where basically. It definitely goes into some different ways. Now, if you've ever seen the movie The Children that they put out later on, this is by the guy that directed The Children. I think this is a better film than The Children, though. Next up is a Clint Howard classic. Yeah, Ron Howard's brother. Ron Howard got to direct the films. Clint Howard got to act in all these super cheesy. Threads. I don't have Threads yet. Threads is a haunting film that will definitely stick in your mind. I remember seeing the North American version of Threads, which was called The Day After. You know what I'm talking next, guys. But I definitely do want to get Threads down the road, but it's going to be a hard watch. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be like a one I'm going to have to be in the right mood to watch. Ice Cream Man. Yes, Ice Cream Man. I don't have the one with the cover. This was one of those, basically, twice a year, Vinegar Syndrome has a big sale, like really big sales. There's the halfway to Black Friday sale, and there's the Black Friday sale. At those times, they release limited editions, a special for those sales. Things that get put out with slip covers and stuff. And most of the time, those sell out. And they'll come out with editions, like non-slip cover editions later. And this is the non-slip cover edition of Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man is a really, really fun movie. Richie Cunningham's brother. You got this, oh dude, the slipcover is so nice for this one. I would love to have had it. But at the time that this sale happened, there was a sale happening at Sevron, and Sevron Films. And my dad really wanted Jack the Ripper for Christmas, so I got it for him, and I bypassed this sale at that time because I knew I'd come back and get this one anyway. Because I really do love this film. It's really super. Clint Howard, I kind of wished that they'd kind of done like a follow-up to this film. Because he does such a good job in the role, and I can see them bringing them back, doing a kind of a follow-up, because it doesn't matter with these movies if they die or anything like that. And it has quite the cast. And it has like Olivia Hussey, David Naughton, Jan Michael Vincent, who pretty much, if you see Jan Michael Vincent in this movie, then he's pretty much like taking his check and walking through the film. Jack the Ripper is actually a good one, Carlos. I did really enjoy that. Now remember, it's the first one to do it that way. But definitely one to check out. Next up is probably the only adult, well, only like adult one that I got in my collection in the like the actual adult way, and that is Trashy Lady from Ginger Lynn. I'm a huge fan of Ginger Lynn's. I'm not gonna lie, I do like some of the early like 70s or 80s adult cinema, and ones with stories. I gotta have a story. I'm not one of those type people. I'm not sure when those two people are, but no, for me it's story. Story's important. Story's paramount. And this is actually pretty much a flipped up take on Pygmalion, My Fair Lady, as most people know it, where a gangster played by Harry Reams wants to have Ginger Lynn has his girlfriend, has his moll, basically his gangster's moll, but she's too classy for him, so he hires somebody to kind of make her trashier. Ken Howard's best horror movie was Evil Speak. I love Evil Speak, but I would put it on the same par as Ice Cream Man. I think they're both like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, did you like? I got asked, did you watch Trashy Sculptor and did you like it? Because I actually thought it was kind of fun. Harry Reams is one of those guys that I think is an actual legitimate good actor in these films, and he's very comedic. He's done other stuff as well. Harry Reams never meant to be an actor, by the way. He went to an audition of a very famous adult film, not for himself, but he went there to basically how about some other people. The person that was supposed to do the role, they kind of bowed out, and then Harry Reams just went into it. And the movie is called Deep Throat, and it became a classic film that people saw, whether they liked adult films or not. It was one of those go-to movies that everybody saw. Oh yeah, Clint Howard was in Star Trek. He was a strange looking dude even back then. So these are the first two of the 5 films, 5 years ones that they put out. So basically what they did is they put out 4 volumes of these altogether. I only have the first 2. This is the, if you ever wanted to try their, there's some good ones at Lexington Steel and stuff like that. But definitely this is like a way, if you're not quite sure about their adult stuff and you wanted to kind of check it out, that have like plots to them. This one here has Too Naughty to Say No, which is actually, if I'm correct, this is kind of based on some of the writings of the Marquis de Sade. Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls actually has a good plot, and Bob Chin makes it into like one of those weird kind of like comedies that I really enjoyed. The Rebel Tales of Canterbury, done by Bud Lee with Hypatia Lee in it, Prisoners of Paradise, and Dixie Ray, Hollywood Star, which I do think is actually a good adult film noir, and I recommend it if you have not seen it. With joy. I miss that. Next up is the horror and exploitation, which is like pretty much the horror and action. Yeah, Hot and Spicy Pizza Girls is great. I've watched that one a few times. John Holmes. This has The Mothers, which is another Sergio Santiago film. Another fun one. So, yeah, sure. You'll find that out in a few years. Flesh and Bullets, which is actually kind of a weird update of Strangers on a Train, which has Cesar Miro and Yvonne De Carlo in this one. The Mothers, again, thank you. Sergio Santiago, I don't think you can go wrong with Sergio Santiago. I've kind of been like really pleased with them so far. Well, Emerald Sea, that one's on there as well. Hang Up by John Hayes, Dungeon of Harrow, and Murder on the Emerald Seas by Alan Ormsby. And of course, Alan Ormsby is probably better known like for the work that he did with Bob Clark. And of course, for me, because I was a kid in the 80s and I bought his book that he wrote about monsters, movies, and makeup. Check it out. You can Google it. It's that's a real thing. It was online. I bought it from Scholastic Book Club, and I would kill to have it back. Next up is Hobgoblins. So if you like super cheesy fun monster movies with like Gremlins style knockoff films, you got to see Hobgoblins. It's one of those Z-grade films that I do recommend. Look at that cover. Isn't that kind of cool and cute? It is a weird film. I'm not going to lie. It is a weird, strange film. Done by Rick Sloan, right? Yeah, Rick Sloan directed this one, and this was actually on Mystery Science Theater. It is not as good as Critters, man. I'm not going to lie to you there. It's definitely worth watching. Critters is, for me, like Gremlins and Critters are the are the must sees of that. I like the Ghoulies as well. Not the Ghoulies, the first one. It's kind of iffy. But oh, Carlos, sad to see. It's always sad to see you go, man. But it's always great when you come in and come back and check it out later. John Steele is not a big fan of this one, and I'm not going to say this is a great film, but I'm going to say it's a fun one. I don't have the Critters box set yet. I'm going to Ontario in a week, and so I'm hoping that I'm going to come across it there. I'm so excited about Ontario. Maybe I'll have good dreams, Carlos. Vinegar Syndrome style dreams. I actually forgot about Munchies. Munchies, I would put Munchies on the same rate of Hobgoblins if I was going to put it like in quality level. But some people really were real big fans of the Munchies. There's only 2 of them, I think, done. Next up is Rudy Ray Moore's Dolomite. And if you have not seen Dolomite, I do definitely recommend this. If you like blaxploitation, gotta see it. If you like Rudy Ray Moore and you've seen his stand-up work, and that's where you know him from, because he was a stand-up comedian, kind of a poet laureate of stand-up comedy, definitely check it out. Ray Moore was a stand-up comedian that was known for doing kind of poetic verses, so that actually works its way into the Dolomite character. He's the cool pimp with the heart. And if you've not watched Dolomite, watch Dolomite. This has a lot of really good features on it. They were originally Celluloid. They mentioned that they were going to do a box set, and they were going to do like a box, and they were going to put it out to sell to people that had all 4 Rudy Ray Moore films. Disco Godfather Movie Madness I don't have. This is the only one of the 4 that I've gotten so far. On the next sale, I'm probably going to just pull the trigger and get the other 3 because I really did enjoy Dolomite, and I do like Rudy Ray Moore's films. Blaxploitation is something that gets watched in this house several times. We are huge fans of the blaxploitation genre. My better half, if you've seen the review that she did with me, we'll be doing more of those. Black Shampoo is, I gotta get that one, John. I don't have Black Shampoo. Shampoo is actually gonna be playing in the Royal when I go up to Ontario. Tarantino, yeah, and you gotta love Tarantino for that. P.D. Wheatstraw, I hear that's really good. Ganja and Hess, I actually did a review of that one like a couple years ago. That's definitely more of a serious one, Adrian, and tells it's a story. Next up, do you like Linnea Quigley? I do, because I grew up in the '80s when everybody was in love with Linnea Quigley. Murder Weapon and Deadly Embrace are 2 films starring Linnea Quigley. They're a unique double feature, definitely a scream queen, one of the biggest scream queens of all time. I remember her and Brink and Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer. There were like 3 or 4 of them at the time that were like really being pushed as the scream queens, the next generation. Jill Sholin should have been in there too, I think. More starring her boobs, and of course, if you watch like Ned the Demon, well, when her her buttocks as well, she bends over. But it's a very popular scene in that film. But this is fun cheese. Jan Michael Vincent is in this and walks his way for another paycheck as well. Lyle Wagner from Wonder Woman actually is in one of these films as well. We got Jack Carter in here. Actually, if you've gotten Cotton Comes to Harlem's a great film, John. I love that film actually. And we watched it a couple times. We got the keynote of that one. If you've gotten Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, and you want to see the actor from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, you know the guy that played the star, like, is it Billy? God, I should remember this. Anyway, so that actor that played Silent Night, who played the star of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, he is in one of these movies. I think it's Murder Weapon, actually. So if you want to see him in another film, not playing that character, playing another role, yeah, the guy that says it's garbage day, and you don't have Murder Weapon, there's another reason to get it. Not just for the beautiful Linnea Quigley, but the guy from Silent Night, Deadly Night, who you don't see in a lot of movies. He's in this film. So definitely, if there's another reason in my opinion, to check that out. If you're a fan of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, the main actor's in that. Next up is another Linnea Quigley one. And that is Nightmare Sisters. But this one is a fun, cheesy, kind of comedic film. There are worse actors. Have you seen Things They Katana? Because At least he puts like some life into his There are so many worse actors. Nightmare Sisters. This has, you know, done by Dave Dakota. We got Linnea Quigley, Michelle Bauer, Brink Stevens, and of course everybody's favorite, Dookie Flyswatter. I have no idea who that is, but one hell of a name, right? So again, basically there's these nerdy girls that get possessed and become these super cool one. I'm sure Bauer. Yeah, that's the Doogie Flyswatter. That's his name. I'm not. I'm reading it off the back here. Now, of course, Dakota worked with Full Moon and people like that. Hey, Ian, how's it going, man? We are talking Vincent tonight. Next up is one by a cult classic guy. That is Paul Naschy. So a lot of people got the Scream Factory Paul Naschy like sets that came out. I've got Volume 2, but I don't have Volume 1. But I knew I had to have this. This is Count Dracula's Great Love. Paul Naschy was an unabashed lover of the Universal monster films, and most of his movies kind of really deal with that. You got both. You're so lucky, man. I lucked into getting the Witch Trap's the only one I don't have. I got to get Witch Trap. House on Skull Mountain is one that I have. I think I've seen it, but I don't remember it. So I will say I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it long enough that I no longer remember it. So I don't have it. Count Dracula's Great Love, definitely one worth picking up. Paul Naschy does a great job in this. He's more of a diminutive like Dracula. He's a shorter Dracula, but he has presence, and I did enjoy this film. This is he put a lot of heart into that film. Next up is an Alfredo Zariakis film that I do remember quite well, and that is The Bees. The Bees is one that I really enjoyed, and I actually had this one. My dad was visiting. My dad, my cousin, my kids were all there, all over for the day, and we decided to put on The Bees to watch together because we like these type of films. It's got like John Carradine and John Saxon, so two of the big Johns are in it. It's a super fun film. Angel Tompkins, of course, is in this one as well. You can't go horrible with The Bees. It's so fun. This was like kind of like one of those environmental like warning films. Man, we should have listened because look at us now. This one is super cool, and basically it's these bees that start attacking. I love the opening of this film. Oh yeah, I've seen Invasion of the Bee Girls. I don't have that one in my collection. I really got to get it. I'm hoping the Scream Factory puts out a good edition now that they got the whole Roger Corman line. But definitely, guys, definitely check this one out. The Bees is really cool. Yeah, Cotton Comes to Harlem is a fantastic film. It's a great blaxploitation film, and if you haven't checked it, it's actually a good blaxploitation film. It has like some really nice stuff in it, and the ending is actually kind of like pleasing as well. So that's always a good thing. It's not too dark. I would recommend it, and you got the recommendation of Steel right there as well. So how can you go wrong with the recommendation of Steel? Next up is Hellbent. Now this was a limited edition. I think this one is still available. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know. Now most of these Vinegar Syndrome releases, you can check them out, but most of them are region free, so that's another thing to know. Hellbent was done by Richard Casey. This is one of two limited editions that were put out by Richard Casey. I've got both of the limited editions by him, and I love them both. Hellbent is a lot of fun. It's one of those sell your soul for rock and roll type of films, and it's cool. It's super cool, and I'm not quite sure why I love this one, but it is out of print. Damn. Hopefully this one comes out on you know, to get the putted out again. This is definitely worth owning. I'm not gonna. This is one I strongly. If you ever get the chance to get it for a decent price, definitely pick it up. It's actually a cool film. And if you thought that was all, then you do not know my obsession with Vinegar Syndrome titles. Next up is the other one by Richard Casey, and one of my favorite like Vinegar Syndrome titles that I think is probably out of print now as well. This was a limited edition too. There's like 3,000 of each of these now, but these were around for a while, and I was really surprised that they lasted as long as they did. And this is a Whorehouse on Highway 5. Do you like movies with Nazis? Do you like movies with killers wearing Richard Nixon masks? Do you like movies with toy rockets? You get all of this and more in Whorehouse on Highway. It is nuts, but isn't it a fun nuts hoax? Isn't one of those things where you're like, I can't believe I'm still watching this, but this is awesome, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a crazy film, and it's one of those movies that can be put on like anytime. Like, it's one of those things where basically you got a bunch of friends over and you say, let's put on a movie, have a couple of drinks. It's definitely a fun one to watch. So Whorehouse on Highway 5, a great cover too, by the way, worth checking out. And of course you had like a weird like cover, like alternate cover there as well. Right to the ending, it doesn't stop. The weirdness does not stop in this one. Much like Nightmare Weekend, you can double feature Whorehouse and Highway 5 with Nightmare Weekend any day, because they are both crazy, crazy, insane films that I'm not gonna lie, I super love. Next up is another fun cheese fest, and it's an action film, and that is Death Machines. So this looks like it's some kind of futuristic style film. Are there copies of Whorehouse left? Pick it up, it's a good one. Oh man, Scream Times, John, is one that I had on VHS back today. It actually, I owned it because we had it in our store, and I had it for ages. I'm on VHS once we sold our store, but I no longer have it. And it's I definitely like want Scream Time on Blu-ray. I love that, and my oldest, she's like a real big fan of like Punch and Judy, and you know Scream Time has a Punch and Judy story, so definitely one that I want. Death Machines. This looks like it's some kind of sci-fi romp. It is not. It is a cheesy actioner, and if there's anything sci-fi in this, it's of course they're gonna have bad ratings because they're cheesy Z-grade films. That's what you watch Vinegar Syndrome for. Never. They've taken movies that would be getting like crap releases in like in a bin or on a 50 or 100 set, if they even got that far, or back in the VHS days, and they've done Criterion level work on these films with their features, with the presentation, with the restoration of the films. Imagine like you're what some people would call a guilty pleasure, for instance. I don't like to use that word because I don't think there's such things as guilty pleasure. If you like it, you like it. So yeah, look at this one here. This has a great restoration on a super cheesy film, and it's got a commentary track, director's introduction, video interviews, audio interviews, like different outtakes. So you're gonna get a blast. This is like a cheesy actioner. If you love action films, definitely one to watch. Next up is one that really is the cover doesn't suit it. Malibu High. This makes you think you're going to get like a Porky's or an American Pie or one of those kind of like late 70s, early 80s sexploitation films. You don't get that. That is not at all what this is. It is She Is Super Hot, but this is not the way the film is done. It looks like almost like a cracked kind of like Mad type style cover there. I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually probably one of the artists from Mad or Cracked magazine. Because yeah, I'm old enough that I used to read Mad Cracked when Cracked was a magazine. But this here is actually a kind of like more a dramatic style film with like action, and like there's a girl there that basically she starts like a sort of, I guess it's darker. I mean, like she starts to she goes into prostitution, and later on becomes a hit woman. I'm not kidding you. She becomes a hit woman and gets involved in like some very dark stuff. This does not have a happy, sunshiny ending, just to let you know. But it's definitely a good film. It's nothing at all like the cover. Malibu High. Oh no, it's not the chick from Tommy. You're thinking of Betsy Russell, John. This is Jill Lansing, and if you've never, I'm trying to think of what else she'd be in. It's a dark film. It's a really dark film. It's not don't go in expecting to see like one of the Betsy Russell private school girls or anything like that. You're not going to get that. You're going to get like some shooting and some death, some killing. You're going to get some nudity because that's going to be in there, but definitely some darker stuff. Next up is Evil of the Night. Now, I'm a huge Neville Brand fan. That sold me on this one, that in the cover. Sold me on this one right away. This is, again, another super crazy film. But it's one that I love. It's one of those, like, kind of those finds that you get on Vinegar Syndrome, where you see a movie that you've probably never heard of. You may have just heard the title, never actually watched the movie, or maybe saw a really shitty copy of the film. This, again, is an amazing print of it, and it actually has some good people in it. We got like Amber Lynn, Otto Ray, there's John Carradine, Tina Louise from Gilligan's Island, Julie Newmar, and of course the great Neville Brand, all in this film right here. And it is a bit insane, I'm not going to lie to you. Do you like that one, John? I do really like this one. My oldest, the reason that she doesn't like it is she really liked one of the actresses in the film, and she, actually got invested enough that she was upset when the character in the film was killed, that it actually kind of ruined the film for her. So that's the thing. It does a good enough job that it actually makes you kind of root for certain characters in the film, and I think that's always a plus. Next two are double features. First up is Blood Mania and Point of Terror. I actually really like both of these films. These are Pete Carpenter films. If you don't know who Pete Carpenter is, this is a really great way to get into. I always forget one. To get into like Pete Carpenter movies. These are actually kind of cool. I'm trying to remember which one I like best, but both of these were actually pretty good. Pete Carpenter, like, he's the man in his movies. You can tell that when Pete Carpenter goes down. I'm not sure if he wrote the scripts or what, but all the ladies love Pete Carpenter. That's why Daikatana, we push against the streaming, and we keep in the physical releases. We keep buying Vinegar Syndrome, we keep buying the Arrows and the 88 films and the 101 films and the Shout Factories and Scream Factories and and even the Code Reds and stuff of the day. Because these companies here are working hard to make sure that maybe for more casual viewing, Point of Terror is actually, you like Point of Terror a little bit more? Point of Terror is the one on the beach, right? Dan Thorne, yeah, that's got Dan Thorne in it. Both of these are actually really, I found them both really cool. I don't want to give away too much. If you don't have it, definitely one worth checking out. It flew under the radar for a lot of people, but I think it's still available, and I do strongly recommend the Pete Carpenter films. Next up are two that I know I'm going to recommend, especially the first one, and that is Primeval and Lurkers, and this is, of course, Roberta Findlay. I'm a big Roberta Findlay fan. I'm really glad that Vinegar Syndrome has actually gone out there and actually promoted Roberta Findlay. They've had her like do commentaries, they've done interviews with her, they've done a few of her films, and they did some really great restorations of these films. So if you've never checked these out, yeah, unfortunately she's no longer with us, but definitely like check out her films. She was a groundbreaker when it came to exploitation, and you'll find out how she really didn't think she was. She really didn't know how important she was to the film industry and to people, to females that would work in the film industry later on. But Roberta Findlay, definitely check her out. I think she did Tenement. Actually, I think she did Lurkers. Was Lurkers also called Tenement? Or was that a different one that she did altogether? Because Lurkers is about a tenement. This is a really good one. I do recommend it. And for me, like, the top one she did was this. The film was actually an adult film and a snuff the movie. Actually, she did do that one. When did she pass? I got to stop because I actually am a huge Roberta Findlay fan. And anything that they would put out with her, I would 110% buy. That's like, no word of a lie. Like, I love the stuff that they've done with Roberta Findlay. So let's actually open this up here. I'm actually going to Wikipedia to let you guys know a little bit. I know that her actually Michael Findlay passed away, but I think she's still around, isn't she? Roberta Finley's still around, I think. Because they recently did like interviews with him. When did she? Because no, I think she's still around. Actually, Michael Finley, her husband has passed away, but she continued on. I think I'm pretty sure she's still around. Like these were recent interviews that I did with her. Like the one here is done in 2017, like a interview with her, and that is A Woman's Torment. Now, like yeah, her husband Michael Finley, he did pass away, Dave Katana. Now, A Woman's Torment is an adult film. There's also a softcore version of it if you'd rather just like have the softcore version. This is very much like Repulsion, and it is one of my favorite things that Vinegar Syndrome ever put out. They should know the joy of plastic overtaking their house, because at the end of the day, when the internet goes down or something like that, when the apocalypse happens, then you know what, they're going to be thinking, man, I want to watch some films. Or say Netflix goes under because there's a big streaming war between a bunch of companies coming up, because that's happening. There's a streaming war coming, guys. So you're going to see rights like coming and going from different places. So you want your favorite films. The only way to really have those favorite films, have them in your hand. Woman's Torment, definitely strongly recommend this film. I've recommended this film like over and over again. I do love this movie. What's really cool about this film is that the girl that acts in this, she's a very, very unique actress, very strange, and there's a really great like talking about her in the film. There's an R, if you don't like an adult film stuff, there's an R-rated cut of it on here. You don't have to watch the adult version. But the cool thing is she was out on the beach one day with one of the people that were working behind the scenes, and she said, you know, we should go. Oh, we should just leave. And she did. With the guy, she just left. So there are sequences in this film where you're not seeing her front on, and it's actually, I think it's Roberta Finley at some points, that's actually wearing a wig, or somebody like that to play her role. She was hypnotic in this. She did it. Yeah, she did. Movie Match. She did an amazing job in this film. And if you've never seen A Woman's Torment, I really recommend it, just for her hypnotically amazing performance. Now we're getting into stuff that a lot of people that stuck around are going to want to see, and that are the slip covers. Nobody does a slip cover like Vinegar Syndrome. If you've never seen a Vinegar Syndrome slip cover, you are in for a treat, because their slip covers are the best in the business. I'm not even joking. That's not hyperbole, nothing like that. Their slip covers are the greatest slip covers that are out from any company, and I will stand by that. I will strongly, strongly stand by the fact that they've done stuff with slip covers, and their slip covers are of a higher quality than like any other slip cover put out by any company ever before them, and any that I've seen after. Yeah, hands down the best. So if anybody's here and you've never checked out Vinegar Syndrome and you're wondering like what their slip covers are like, you're about to find out. I got a couple upstairs. Would you guys mind if I left for a second and grabbed them and came back? Because I don't want to lose anybody, but I kind of want to make sure you guys see them all. So I will literally run, and I am not joking. Run, force, run. All right. Not gonna lie, it's the first time I gained a viewer by running. So, I had a vinegar syndrome upstairs, and I wanted to show you all my vinegar syndrome stuff. I was actually sick this week, so what I did was I had a bunch of movies upstairs with me, and one of them was Vinegar Syndrome. So let's get into their slipcovers. Whoa, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie, I did run for you guys. So this is the first one that I ever bought, The Undertaker, but with Joe Spinell. I wasn't quite sure about it when I first saw the slipcover. I was like, what's so special about it? Like, it's just red. But like, as I got it and I saw the movie and I saw like the red, like the bloody prints on the, on the side and the coffin style cover. I think, yeah, it was their first slip, wasn't it? So this is kind of historic. This was the first thing that they ever put out with the slip. Now, this is the movie. I'll let you see the slip bit. Now, one really cool thing you're going to notice about this slip here is that inside and out, they've actually kind of done this. It's solid. It's a very, very sturdy slip. This is the actual movie on the inside. This is their very first slip. It actually, like, this was a special. It even came with like a booklet with, the great Joe Spinell. If you've seen Maniac, for instance, then you're gonna know, you should know Joe Spinell anyway, because you've probably seen Rocky or The Godfather, movies like that. He was in both of those. He was a famous character actor that was very well regarded in Hollywood. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't know, like, at home didn't know who he was, but he was very well regarded with people like, Francis Ford Coppola and Scorsese and Stallone and people like that. They all knew who Joe Spinell was. He became friends with William Lustig, and they made Maniac together. Yeah, he is. Like, this is, for me, this is the closest, like, to a Maniac sequel that you get. Now, this is the like, they say like it's more of like an unfinished film, and Hoax I doing it, but this is pretty much the closest to being finished that yeah, Uncle Robbie was going to be called, actually. Maniac too, but this was going to be the first thing that they did together. Border, you're part of the reason I was going to do that I was doing this now. You actually mentioned Vinegar Syndrome here. What's my favorite slip that Vinegar Syndrome did? We'll get to that. So I'm just going to go in random with their slips, because I don't want to, like, because I cannot do them in chronological order. I wouldn't remember. One of the ones that I thought I was going to miss out on, they sold out, but this is what I love about Vinegar Syndrome. I don't have Liquid Sky. That looks like an awesome slip, though, Hoax. I really wish I would have got that one. Is that some people had ordered like several copies of Sweet Sugar, and they were like, no, you can have 1 to 2 copies max. We want as many people as possible to be able to get the film. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome, for that. Because of you, and because of you, like, not giving in to the people that they hate, scalpers. You really do, Boredom Strikes. So they have some really good stuff. Because I'm not sure what their names are. Dark Films, Dark Fantasy, whatever the hell those names of those guys are that sculpt their own films, that work with Code Red sometimes. I'm not a fan of those guys at all. That's just, I'm gonna leave it at that. That really bothers me. Vinegar Syndrome is the opposite of that. They're the antithesis of that, and they do things like more respectfully, and they do them well. Dark Forces, yeah, screw Dark Forces. Sorry, man, but that really pissed me off. I don't get mad very often on here. Sweet Sugar, I got this one. I'm so excited. So I was going to say Phyllis Stiller. Yeah, it is. It's one of those companies that you actually do kind of get addicted to because of the kind of the weird, unique stuff that they put out there. But it's Phyllis Davis. I really hope that they put out Terminal Island as well. It's another like great one. I think they are putting it out. I'm hoping it's coming in 2019. As far as like women in prison movies go, this is actually a really, really good one. I was actually surprised by how good it actually was. I expected it to be okay, but I've watched it several times. You still got Sweet Sugar Man. That's a good film. And, you know, over the top, cheesy, fun. Definitely pick up Sweet Sugar if you got a chance. It doesn't matter if this one has a slip. This is, you know, even the non-slip edition. Look at that. Look how amazing that looks. Sweet Sugar. Just make sure there's no nudity. Okay, good. No nudity. Oh, Vigilante's a fan. Didn't Blue Underground put out Vigilante John? I don't think I had that one, but I remember watching back in the VHS days. But I think Blue Underground did it. Need the sound. Perfect. Thanks. Tenebrae. I hate scalpers. I really do. Thanks. Now this one has the thing of being written by Ed Wood, by being camera assisted by Ted V. Michaels, and being directed by A.C. Stevens. How much more of, oh, I want the 4K restoration of a 4K, not 4K, how much more of an insane mix. It is Orgy, man. It's got to be Orgy. Orgy of the Dead. Ed Wood's Orgy of the Dead. This has a day glow cover. Look at the fantastic, like, weirdness of this film. This is a weird film, guys. It is a super crazy film, and it's got Criswell in it. So if you have seen Plan 9 from Outer Space, and you know the amazing Criswell and his predictions for the future, then yeah, he's in this. What can I tell you about this movie? It's super campy. It's Ed Wood. Oh, you're still there, Brian. Didn't know if you're there or not. But I watched this one first on VHS. My dad bought Orgy of the Dead, and I picked up a couple like of those. Hey, Cubic Lover, how's it going? This is amazing. This is, and I picked up like a couple MST3Ks, and we sat down and we watched Mitchell, we watched Ega, and we watched Orgy of the Dead. So it was quite a triple feature, and we just wondered why this wasn't on Mystery Science Theater. Then we realized, oh, wait a second, too much nudity. But not in the sense of like, oh, this is going to be like super, like, is it the type of nudity that, like, it's tame enough that I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't mind if it was like not young kids, if like it was teenagers around in the background for that one. There's really nothing that's going to corrupt you with a pair of boobs in a film. I stand by that. But yeah, definitely want to check out. Next up is one that goes to that saying that would be in my collection, and that is Blood Harvest. So if you have not seen Blood Harvest, gotta love. Look at these slips. They are amazingly well done. I always have solid things, and the artwork that they put into this is just incredible. This is eerie as all hell. If you don't like clowns, this is going to mess you up. But it's something that you should own. It's Tiny Tim, the tiptoe through the tulip sky. You know, a lot of us know Tiny Tim from different films. Definitely recommend it. This is the best presentation of this film that's ever been out there. I've got this and the 88 Films edition, so I got both editions of the film. This actually has a big actor in it, and I was really surprised to actually to see that. And I'm not going to mention who it is because that is in the podcast that's going to be dropping later this week, guys. So please check that out. Yes, he did get married on the Tonight Show because he did that because he's Tiny Tim. He was quite unusual. I don't use plastic covers for my plastic covers for my slipcase collection, though I do see people that do it, and I can understand why you would do that to kind of keep them in good condition. Yeah, Tiny Tim was one of those guys. He'll live on through his music. He'll be immortal for forever. Like as long as there's an Insidious film or something like that, you know, Tiny Tim, of course, you know, he did that. He freaked us out there. This is definitely one of my favorites, and this slip is amazing on this one, and that is The Incubus. So Incubus was a really good film with John Cassavetes, and so John Garfield is in this one as well. There's quite a cast in this movie. I think it's John Garfield. I gotta look now. Now I'm curious. Was it John Garfield? Because I know John Hoff did it. It's John Arlen. John Garfield is For Human Rescue, one of my favorite films of all time. I knew it was one of the Johns. I should not have got that mixed up. So Incubus, Really recommend. Don't watch the featurettes on this one without. That's a good idea movie, man. This is something that I should invest into down the road. I think. You mean like in the rapey way? It's different than the Entity. They're very different films, I would say. I probably like this better than the Entity. In my opinion, I do like them both, but I do like this better. John Hoff is a really good director, so you know, this is not the only. What's one of my favorite films? You know, some of these here are actually some of my favorite films, so that's like, you're going to see some of my favorite films on here. The next one's not one of my favorite films, but I had to have this edition because I remember this. This is not one of my recommendations when it comes to Vinegar Syndrome. They did a great edition of this film. The slipcover is amazing, and I told people go into this with lowered expectations. Some people didn't listen to me. But I do enjoy this film. Oh, John Garfield, Humoresque. John Garfield and Joan Crawford did a movie called Humoresque, and I saw it when I was a young kid. And Humoresque was one of those that stuck me. Hey, Culture Trini, how's it going, man? John Garfield plays a kind of a haunted violinist who keeps, you know, is kind of in love with Joan Crawford. And she's kind of like one of those ladies that basically she knows that her style of life is going to run him into ruin. It's a dramatic film. It is definitely one Cubic Lover would definitely like, and I've always recommended it. It stuck with me. It haunted me. But here's one that I didn't recommend. But I have fun with it, but please know going in, it's not what you think it is. So you just got to know that. Deadly Daphne's Revenge. I had a lot of fun with this. It's super cheesy, and it plays off like it's going to be like a kind of a rape revenge film. And it doesn't go, dude, Dayton, how many times I have to tell you things gets that one? If you've never seen this, it's different. It's a weird mixture of like a drama with a bit of with a strange romance, and kind of a weird story. Deadly Daphne's Revenge is definitely not for everybody. The cover is definitely awesome, but the cover is a bit misleading. I'm not gonna lie to you there, but this is not. This is here. This is definitely in the film, but it's not. It's not what you're gonna like remember about the film. It's a fun film. It's just not it's not what people think it's gonna be. If you're going looking for a rape revenge film, that's not definitely Deadly Daphne's Revenge. It's very much more dramatic and strange and odd. It's a curio. If you like those kind of curios, you don't mind the kind of a slower dramatic feel to it, with some kind of weird bad acting and stuff, then yeah, definitely. It definitely was a tax movie. It's definitely not I Spit on Your Grave, that's for sure. Uncle, not I Spit on Your Grave at all. So next up is Corpse Grinders, the insane cat movie by Ted V. Michaels. So basically, the plot of this one is that there are these people that grind up corpses to put into cat food, which turns the cat food into like, they get a taste for human flesh. And now they want human flesh. There's a lot of unintentional hilarity in this film. I'm a big Ted V. Michaels fan. But I do like this one. Astro Zombies is my favorite Ted V. Michaels film. I'm not going to lie. But this one is a ton of fun. And just know, it is co-written by Art Hall Sr., did lots of Art Child Jr. films. And if you've never seen an Art Child Jr. film, you owe it yourself to watch some of Art Child Jr. stuff, including Ega, or the one that's actually not bad, which is The Sadists. Cats eat dead people. And then they attack some living people. So this is one that was mentioned, and I was really, really happy that I got the slip cover of this one. Thank you, James, so much. I know you're not watching tonight, But while guitar, that is a cool one. He is not Elvis. Oh, but he is. Tyrannomito could be a really good one. I haven't seen that one in ages. Terror, Norman J. Warren. If you've gotten The Prey, if you're getting Bloody New Year, you must also have Terror. Now, I'm pretty sure that Stefan, you talked about this one on your podcast. Pretty sure, did you? Unless I'm remembering wrong, but I remember it as a member. Terror, great slipcover, by the way, really, really well done. I'm a huge fan of Norman J. Warren's. That's why I grab everything that they put out by him on the British Suspiria. There you go. I love this cover. They even, like, see, you got like a third cover right there. I'm pretty sure. It's a fun one. Do you have Terror, Brian? If you don't have Terror, you must have Terror. This is actually super cool. Before you watch the Suspiria remake, see the real Suspiria remake. Terror. What's the reverse artwork on this one? So this is the here, but it's just the artwork that you've kind of already seen, and that's this right here. So yeah. This is the edition you get, dude. Forget, forget Code Red's Terror. There's one Terror to have, and it's the Terror from Vincent. Next up is, I really like this one, the limited edition of 1,666 copies. Oh, they have 300 meters. Okay, sorry. Then I would check that out. I'm actually bummed about that, about Hoax, them getting 4th Century, because that's a Vincent title. That's something that they would do really well. I don't expect the same type of, I'm not saying anything bad about the quality of Code Red or anything like that. It's just I could see more work going into it if it was Vincent. Psycho Cop Returns. I thought I'd seen this. I had seen Psycho Cop, and it was okay. It was a fun little thing. I had not seen Psycho Cop Returns, so I bought this one kind of like sight unseen. It's directed by Adam Rifkin, so yeah, a real actual big director. So if you've not seen this is actually kind of like a horror comedy. Definitely high on the comedy part. I would like them to see them do that, because that really needs a good addition. Hoax, you're giving me hope, Hoax. Definitely check out Psycho Cop Returns. Really fun one. It's got a cool cast in it. The guy from it is actually in The Office, actually. Robert R. Schaefer, that's his name, yeah. Officer Joe Vickers. Definitely check this out. If you've never seen this one, please. The first Psycho Cop, as far as I know, Movie Madness is not on Blue yet. I do want to see this one come on Blue, because this one is awesome. I've only ever seen the first Psycho Cop on VHS. I've never even seen a DVD copy of it, so I don't even know if one exists. So if it does, it definitely passed me by over the years. But I would love to see Vinegar Syndrome do the first one as well. The second one is the highest quality one. Maniac Cops is more kind of more in a way in that it's a cop that's killing people. I guess that's similar, but I wouldn't consider it like similar to Maniac Cop. There's a lot more humor to it. Adam Rifkin, of course, does a lot of comedy stuff. So I strongly recommend checking this one out. If you want to get into Vinegar Syndrome stuff and you're not quite sure about the Z grade stuff or any of that, and you want to get like one that actually is really good. Then definitely Riff Corrigan, dude, is Adam Rifkin. You know that, right? You know it's a nom de plume. Because it is. Adam Rifkin actually has some good interviews on that. I know you're joking, so. But yeah, definitely like that's one of the ones to say if you're not quite sure on some of the other ones. That's definitely a kind of a tamer one to go in on, and a really kind of super fun one. This one I did a 2-part review on with my better half, so I don't really have a lot more that I can say about it. And that is that Sweetback's Badass song. Definitely like a, kind of a tentpole film when it comes to blaxploitation. This kind of helped start the whole blaxploitation genre. It is by Mayor Van Peebles' dad, Melvin Peebles. Melvin Van Peebles, definitely worth checking out. It has a weird opening. You can get past that. It's very strange, it's very experimental, and it's very artsy. So don't go in expecting a Dolomite. It's not going to be like that. It has a serious story to tell, and it tells that, but it tells it in a very artsy, very unique type of way. Now, if you want to see another amazing cover by Vinegar Syndrome, another amazing slip cover that I'd recommend getting if it's still available, and that is Blood Beat. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look kind of cool and cheesy? Thanks a lot. We really enjoyed doing that one. And I got to show her this because she's unsure that people actually were really into her doing it. And I think she did a great job. Invisible Maniac would be a really good one. So Blood Beat is about a ghost samurai, kind of like, definitely worth checking out. I love this cover. I love the fact that it's embossed. You actually put your hands over this, you can actually feel the embossed, like on the cover, and even on the sides. Just very well done. They did a great job with this edition, and it's like, it's a weird film. Yeah, it is a Christmas movie. You know what, folks? I actually didn't think about this when I was doing my Christmas movies this year. But yeah, so this is one that could actually fits into the Christmas category. Thanks a lot, Oaks. I never thought about that one. Next up is probably one of the more, what you would say, the kind of the tamer Vinegar Syndromes, and one that pretty much anybody can like. And that is My Chauffeur. This is a gorgeous slipcover. If you don't have this one and the slipcover is still available, grab the slipcover. It is utterly gorgeous, and it's a fantastic film. Deborah Foreman will steal your heart in this movie. I'm not lying. She is amazing in this film. There are great interviews on here and great featurettes. Sam Jones, of course, from Flash Gordon is in this one. Good job, Sculptor. This is an excellent film. Canon put this out, and they were kind of upset that they didn't go like all exploitation-y totally with it. But yeah, 80s gem for sure. So this has a great cast. Howard Hessman's in this one here. Yeah, Penn Jillette, Teller's in this one before he started talking. Sean McClory, Leland Crook, E.G. Marshall, John O'Leary. It has an amazing cast, guys. Definitely 100%. Yeah, from WKRP in Cincinnati. Howard Hessman, yeah, he played a lot of bad guys. In like My Chauffeur, he's kind of a bad guy. He's not the Johnny Fever type character. It just goes to show you how good of an actor Howard Hessman really was, because those characters are polar opposite. Yeah, and I do agree, Movie Madness, that My Chauffeur is definitely a must-have in your collection. It is a great film. The one that I want to see them do is, hey James, welcome dude. It has been a while. We have been missing you. I actually been mentioning you about like 2 or 3 times in this video actually. I would love to see them do Hunk. And I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with an 80s movie called Hunk. But I am a huge fan of that film. It has Deborah Shelton in it, and I can't remember the guy's name right now. But he is really good. I know James Coco's in as well, the late James Coco. Definitely recommend Hunk. So if you've never seen Hunk, I really hope Vinegar Syndrome puts it one of these days, because it will look great next to My Chauffeur. Do you remember Hunk, Brian? I love that movie. I got it on like one of those like 8 or 12 DVD sets that BCI put out back in the day. But I used to watch it over and over on VHS, because here I was that nerdy guy, right? Wanting to think, man, if only Deborah Shelton could come up to me and turn me into Hunk. That would be so awesome. Maybe it was kind of like a bit of like kind of wish fulfillment on it, but I really love that movie. And the cool thing is, when he turns into Hunk, he doesn't become the bad guy like a lot of these kind of like these like cautionary tales does. It just was a really fun movie. Anyway, that's not Vinegar Syndrome, but it's one I wish they'd put out. So anybody that have their ears to Vinegar Syndrome, Brian, if you got your ears off Vinegar Syndrome, or anybody that knows Vinegar Syndrome, ask them about Hunk. Prey. Strong recommendation on Prey. This is definitely the best of the Norman J. Warren ones that I've seen so far. This is really well done. It's a short film, runs like, I think, like 85 minutes. With new artwork and slip, I know, James, actually we were talking about that earlier. I'm super excited about that. I'm hoping that they do that. I'm kind of guessing that they're going to do that for the halfway to Black Friday sale. And if they do, I'm going to be super excited to see that. I do hope that people get the chance to see this one. If they missed this one because of the slipcover, grab it. Prey is a really, really well done film. Barry Stokes is great. Like, everybody is really, really good in this one here. I love this. That's when it starts? Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I'm so looking forward to their halfway to Black Friday sale this year. That's one, their sales, Vinegar Syndrome sales, are usually like the highlights of my year when they do their sales. They do some amazing stuff. But if you've never seen Prey, guys, check out Prey. It is a really solidly great film. I got 3 more slip covers to show. Then I'm going to do something else because I'm not going to go so fast. I had to have this one. I showed, one of the first ones I showed on there was a movie directed by Mike Cartel. And this was one that it's weird, it's strange, but I've always loved this film. I found it on a VHS with no cover. I watched it back in the day, and I rewatched it over and over again, and that is Pets. So I know this isn't like an everybody film, but it's definitely a lot tamer than you'd think for this. This is not one of their X-rated titles or anything like that. If anything, maybe like a softcore Skinamax type of thing, and I would consider that like very tame softcore. But great actors, actually. Ed Bishop is in this movie. You know, from UFO. Joan Blackman is in here. Mike Cartel, of course, actually, you know, who did Runaway Nightmare, does this. I missed something there. If you re-put that into my movie Madness, I'm sorry I missed that. But fantastic film, and I really enjoy this. It's a weird film. It's a strange film. It's very different. I love the slip cover case like that. Some people would prefer like just like have like pictures and the writing. I like what Vinegar Syndrome has done by giving us like more artwork on the slip, because we know once we slip off the slip, we know we were going to get this writing on the inside anyway. So fantastic. So definitely a huge fan of Pets. Yeah, worth getting even without the slipcover, man. It's an interesting little film, and it's very different. Oh, they're going all blue? I didn't know that. So does that mean that now they do like they used to do this kind of like Peakorama line, right? Which I don't have any of. So if they're going all blue, does that mean during the next sale I got to buy a bunch of DVDs? Because are those going out of print? Because I need those before they go to print. There's some serious ones that I need to get my hands on. So damn it, man. Thank you. Vinegar Syndrome. Am I going to get any of the February titles? I'm actually thinking, James. There's a couple February titles that I'm going to grab at least one or two. And actually, I want to bring this site up here right now, because for the life of me, James, I know the movie, but I'm losing the name on it. Oh, there's two actually. Party Line for sure. Wacko. I definitely want those two. Wacko is crazy film. Party Line, was one from my teen years, my youth, sort of my youth. Wacko for sure. Brian's got to grab Wacko. I know he's grabbing Wacko. Leif Garrett's in Party Line. It's a really strange, weird film that I got to have. And Battle for the Lost Planet. I think I can get my better half to really to go through on that one. Those I want. And as for like their January titles, Bloody New Year for sure. And there's there's nothing out there. Those two are must-haves for me. I'm thinking on. I really want the Uninvited and Splatter University, though I do have Splatter University. Those are ones that I gotta get. I'm gonna Wacko and Battle for Last Man. Yeah, I didn't think you'd get like Party Line. That's more of a me thing. Party Line, James, is something you'd get and you'd probably send my way. I'm not gonna lie to you. Jack Frost. Vinegar Syndrome brought back the lenticular cover. Back in the days of VHS, the lenticular cover was a big thing. Certain movies would have like, some of them would be good, some of these would be horrible. And you asked in the right time. But it's a weird film, James. It's definitely not for everybody, and it's probably not. From what I know from the stuff you like, you keep going, worst movie ever. This is actually a really cool film. Shannon Elizabeth, this is an early film for her. I'm not sure if it's her first film or not, but it's definitely an early one. The lenticular covers, anytime they put a lenticular cover out, I'm there. I am so there. Whoa. But they brought back the lenticular cover in a big way. And they were the best company to do it. If somebody had to put it out, it was their first film. Thanks, James. If somebody had to to bring back the lenticular cover, it just makes perfect sense for Vinegar Syndrome to be the guys to bring those covers back. We're talking about like how we're going to get these set up once in our. This morning we were looking at the place in Morocco because we got some footage of our condo, and we're like actually setting up our movie viewing area. So yeah, it was a fun morning before work. So this is Demon Wind. That's where you got the. See, most people got it from American Pie, so that's you can say you knew her before. I actually do have. I've got the DVD edition of Jack Frost 2, The Mutant Killer Snowman. It's very much kind of a rip on basically the Gremlins franchise. It's a dry heat, no humidity. That's why I really like Morocco. Dude, I have to, James. I got to retire. Like, the one thing I can say is that hopefully I'll be able to do more of this. And that's the thing. I'll be able to go to Canada more, like travel more, and visit even the U.S., which I hope to be able to do in the near future, before 2020. Demon Wind, definitely, guys, worth checking out. Love the cover on this one. This is definitely kind of like a low rent, different type of like Evil Dead style film. I did go to the U.S. like when I was younger, though. But I was much younger, Cubic Lover, when I went to the U.S. Yeah, it is definitely a bit more expensive to buy them here, but they're doing stuff. Actually, we have some help in getting this across because this is going to be quite expensive. But we're also going to be. We actually are going to get some electricians to put in a switch so we can move the wattage, change the wattage, so we can bring over all our electronics. Since I don't want to give up my PS4, my Xbox One, and my Nintendo Switch, obviously, and my other my older consoles as well. So we'll be able to just flick the switch and change the wattage. That's what we're going to do for the condo. We won't be able to play it at the farmhouse, but we'll be able to play it at our condo. But Demon Wind, Kung Fu Magician, can't beat Kung Fu Magician. Who knows, James? If I go to Morocco, maybe sometime I can actually visit you, and then you'll be running in the other direction. But yeah, definitely a cool cover. Always look for their stuff. I always a huge fan of their lenticular covers. Actually, not really. My place is going to be right in Marrakesh. Scotter's getting like, are you getting all scientific on me? I'm learning French, not very well. It's taken a long time, Uncle. French is the big language. And you'd like to move to Canada? Canada will definitely welcome you, James. You're a cool dude. And don't say you're not. Canada, for you, James, Toronto, areas like that, if you like the city area. Morocco's dangerous? How is Morocco dangerous? I consider you cool. And if you think I'm cool at all in the slightest, you're going to have to agree with me. You're just going to have to. Morocco's not dangerous. Morocco is a tourist place. And Morocco got a bad rap because 2 people got killed in Morocco not that long ago. And that's a fact. 2 people were killed, 2 tourists. And tourists are normally people that are guarded very strongly over in that area. Don the Rock, Morocco. I do actually pass. I think he died in an accident here in Newfoundland, I think, if I'm correct. 2 actually, maybe, I don't know if I did. Yeah, that's the thing that got, there was a big, like, there's a media outrage because of it. Now, I live in Canada. More people here, or like areas near here, than over in that area. You know, that's kind of just the way it is. Like, it's just if it gets publicized or not. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, and it became like this big deal. Like, oh, it's not safe to go because of that. Yeah, but you know, that was the big thing about it. Anyway, there we go. Well, let's not get into like serious stuff like that. We're talking movies here, guys. The archive is the place that I would love to go to. Ken was going. Has anybody heard from Ken recently? I haven't seen Ken on here in a while, and I haven't even seen him like around. There was a frequent commenter on her by the name of Ken who just seemed to have disappeared. Actually, you live in Connecticut, really? But I have not been in Connecticut. There's a few like places in the U.S. that I would eventually like to go to. I have not been to New York. Archive is the Vinegar Syndrome store. They actually have their own store, and they sell like Vinegar Syndrome titles, and they sell other stuff as well. One of the things that I've always wanted to own was a Vinegar Syndrome t-shirt. That's on my list. Vinegar Syndrome t-shirts, Severance t-shirts. Those were 2 companies that I really wanted t-shirts of. Because they just, both of those, they have kind of like special places in my heart for different movies that they put out. So yeah, definitely Kubrick Lover if you're near that. It is cold here tonight, James. And the reason it is cold is because we're in the middle of a storm. It started out as kind of like of snow, and it went into like sloppy, freezing rain, and it's going to be all ice by tomorrow. It's going to be hell getting outside. I'm not looking forward to it at all, and I do work tomorrow. I wish I had the day off, but no, I work till 12 tomorrow night. I actually can't work till 12 tonight, and I came in and I said, you know, I'm definitely going to come here. I definitely want to make a movie, make a movie. Well, I do want to make a movie, but I definitely want to make a video for you guys tonight. And part of it was because Brian's right here, and I'll say, as I said at the beginning of this one, I'm actually doing, I'm on my first podcast, which is Just the Discs here, like I think dropping later on this week or early next week, and it is a Vinegar Syndrome related one. So I wanted to go through my entire Vinegar Syndrome library up to this point and kind of like let you guys know how I kind of became the Vinegar Syndrome guy. It's just as a company that I really fell in love with, from the type of their titles that I've shown you there, and people that have known me for a long time, people like James, like Brian there, and like Kubrick Lover's been on there for a while, Andy and Day Katana. You've seen like my kind of obsession with these like Z-grade, crazy, insanity-filled films. I get more joy out of those than some of the greats that are out there. Kubrick's close, man. Kubrick, you gotta go there. Take some bit, man. You've got a channel. You have a channel, and you do some cool stuff. Go there, like get some footage outside of there. Say hi. If you do go there, Kubrick Lover. If you go there, if you go, I have don't go into the woods, but I got it under 8.8 films. I had it before. You have to say hi from me. They sent me screeners. I have done so many Vinegar Syndrome like reviews and talks over the years. And I don't think that they don't know who I am to this day. But it's nice that they actually like Brian actually tweeted out that about the Just the Disc episode, podcast episode that I'm going to be on, and they liked it. So I kind of got Well, parallel parking isn't the easiest. That I hate that. I hate parallel parking. I get nervous for a lot of reasons. I have like OCD issues, like not minor OCD issues, and back in the day I had like anxiety as well. Yeah, I understand all that stuff. Unfortunately, and sadly I do. My beard's starting to grow back, guys. I really hated it when my beard was like really, really. It's still not fluffy enough for me yet. James, you missed this. I shaved my beard, and it was horrifying. I didn't like looking in the mirror. I'm not lying. I did not like looking in the mirror at myself. Park farther away, Cubic Clever, but you got to go there. Go there. Just walk up to it. Get some footage outside. It's a really cool place. Trust me. You do an archive, like a walkthrough at the archive. Ask them. They're pretty cool guys. I'm sure they'll let you. That's definitely going to be a channel thing. See, you're not alone with parallel parking. You have a parallel parking buddy there that's also not going to parallel park James. But guys, what else did I want to show you? Because I wanted the Vinegar Syndrome to be kind of the icing on the cake, but I wanted to put in something else that I don't normally show. Do I have time? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It's just right over there. I'm not going upstairs or anything like that. Don't worry. I have like a small olive films collection. No, it's not porn. A small olive films collection, which I'll show you guys right now because I don't normally get that. I don't have the telephone book. It's a really good film, but that is definitely on my wish list. I hear that is an awesome one. Yeah, I've only seen one so far, and I've watched that video a dozen times. I've actually kind of show my Herschel Gordon Lewis box set. I can bring it over, yeah. I take requests. This is my small olive films collection. I think I got a couple DVDs. I'm not going to get them out. I got to get them out, guys. So, I just had a request by Day Katana to show the Herschel Gordon Lewis box set, so I will show that before I do the olive films one. So this is what I call my cereal box set. Yep, I got the Zadichi box set. I'll show you. Can you see it over there? Whoa! Wow. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to tighten it. Yes, I do. The Zadichi box set. Okay, sorry about that, guys. You fell over. It's like earthquake. So this, God no. I'm not allowed to drink right now, James. I'm actually on a diet. I'm on a, not for weight, but I'm on a diet for health reasons. I'm actually gotta eat healthier. That's one of the reasons I'm actually thinking about going to Morocco earlier. Is I need to eat a lot of healthy, natural foods and sucking a bit. So this is really cool. This is a great set. If you like Herschel Gordon Lewis, this is an amazing set. There was a bigger set that was done. This one was big enough for me. This is the cereal box set. Brian will tell you this one is like kind of like the size of like the Ingmar Bergman cinema set, except they're more quality films in the Herschel Gordon Lewis set. So I just opened it up for you guys to show you. So this is here. They do it by years. Oh no, not at all. Right now, James, basically, I have not been eating the healthiest. That's the truth of the matter, and it got to me. So when you're like on your own for a bit and you start eating, it's a joke, Cubic Clever, and you start eating like lots of toast and cheese related products and stuff like that, it hits you, and it hit me really hard to the point where I got up one day and I just went back down. I just pain hit me so hard I went back down. Because of that, I've had to adjust my diet, drink less colas, and drink drink less actual like tea with milk and sugar, and have more herbal teas and stuff like that. So if you look at my videos last few days, you're going to see like stuff like lemon ginger, chamomile, Now, I just recently bought some like berry tea, some peach tea, which is actually really good, especially when it gets colder, and some raspberry and stuff like that. And I've got a gym upstairs, so I actually have started using that again. I got out of it because I was working all the time, but I said, you know, I want to live the best quality of life that I can live. And I'm not going to do that if I just, if I don't drink, if I don't drink right. And if I don't drink, yes, if I don't drink the right stuff, if I don't eat the right foods, if I don't work out. And I like my life. I like my better half. I love my better half. I love my kids. I want to have the best quality of life that I can for them. And that's why. That's the whole story behind it. I'm nothing if not transparent. Sorry if I bummed you out a bit. But so this is the set. I'll just take them out to show you guys really quickly. This is the first one. Volume 1. I guess Volume 1, 1963 to 1967. Dude, I love pasta. You can see Blood Feast and Scum right here. Soda is really, really bad, like for the, you know, like the acidicness of it. 2000 Maniacs is, of course, the classic there. And, God, I can't remember the name of that one. What's it called? Moonshine Mountain. These all have, like, Blu-ray and DVD editions, by the way. This is Color Me Blood Red and Something Weird. And this, I'm guessing, is where Something Weird got their title from, you know, for their company. They were the first people to put out Hershey and Lewis, by the way. Oh, so you're like, you're straight edge Kubrick lover. You're like CM Punk. The Gruesome Twosome and A Taste of Blood. So that's the first volume. I love the song to 2000 Maniacs. It's so addictive. From there came an awesome sound. I can't sing. Blood Feast 2. I don't have Blood Feast 2 actually. Actually, thanks a lot. The only way I'm going to feel better, James, is if I stick to it and do the, you know, do what I do the best I can do for myself. And I recommend anybody else that's out there, you know, live the best life that you can live, enjoy yourself. But you guys all deserve to have the best life that you can possibly have. See this one? More grisly than ever in blood color. And of course there's the Mad Magician on the back there. So this one here has She Devils on Wheels and Just for the Hell of It. She Devils on Wheels is actually kind of a fun, kind of a Russ Meyer style one. How to Make a Doll. What kills me, Kubrick lover, is chips. I have to stop myself on chips. The Wizard of Gore. This movie was remade with Crispin Glover, actually. The Gore Girls. And This Stuff Will Kill Ya. And we got some of the movies like done in like, God, what was that? Basically 1:3:3 aspect ratio. This was made by Arrow Video, Uncle. Hey Mark, how's it going, man? Nice to see you on here. And also has this here, which is a documentary, which is really, really good, called The Godfather of Gore. If I had to go with what his best film is, I might have to go with, like, it's going to seem like a really boring thing to say, but 2000 Maniacs. But there definitely isn't his only like good film in the whole collection. Now, there is more to this set, which I'll definitely show you. In Britain, they have these things. We have them here in Canada. We had Canadian Children's Annuals, but Britain really does a lot of these. And they do like these yearly annual things. So what they did was a Herschel Gordon Lewis annual, done like the Children's Annuals back in the day. Actually, my better half got this for me from, I think probably from Amazon. I'm not sure if it was UK or not, but but it was a surprise. I had no idea that I was getting it. And there's a little cartoon in here from Scum the Earth. What's kind of really cool here is there's one movie called How to Make a Doll. So they give you like a doll with with different clothes to put on it. And there's different kind of like cheesy stuff and stuff that I probably can't show on here, but like it's definitely, if you've never seen the set, it's definitely worth getting, especially if you're a Herschel Gordon Lewis fan, and I'm not gonna lie, I am. So but his movies aren't for everybody. These aren't the total. If you want, now that being said, to tie back into Vinegar Syndrome, Vinegar, he did some like kind of nudie cuties before we started doing this type of films, and so if you get this, you've got almost a complete Herschel Gordon Lewis. If you want his films, his pre-Blood Feast type of films, of course there's Blood Feast 2, which was put out I think by Vinegar, sorry, by Arrow Video as well. And if you want to get his early films, then just getting off work. I'm actually just I got off work a few hours ago, and you know I work late, so you must work late too, Mark. I'm not sure what the time frame is there, but welcome on. Fun to getting on, huh? But it also has a mask on the back, like a Herschel Gordon Lewis mask. The erotic films, they're not really that good, but they're worth having. Like if you're like me and you're completist, then you'll have them for that reason. And I am a completist. 12:30. I got off 12. I got off 12 actually. So one thing I did, and this is totally different from Vinegar Syndrome, but I thought just for fun, at the end of the video, what I do is I'd show you my very small collection of olive films. So I don't have very many olive films in my collection. HMV's closing out sale was how I got some of these anyway. Some of these were given to me by my friends. Bro, it's like 3:30 here, I think. So even though H. Gurley says movies were bad, but that's the thing you enjoy about them. You know they're bad going in. You don't go in thinking, you know, this is really good, but you thought this is really good. This is going to be quality filmmaking. No, you go in for Herschel Gordon Lewis knowing exactly what you're going to get. It's the same when you watch an Ed Wood movie or you watch like The Room or something like that. You kind of know what the film is, but that's the reason a lot of people love it. Well, right here, guys, it is 3:40. So first up is Meteor Man. Robert Townsend, underrated. Definitely a fun little film. Herschel Gordon Lewis definitely knew what he was doing. One that I actually really like, I watched this one a lot. It's the, you know, this is going to tell you my taste, I guess. Breeders. Does this look familiar, Jay? Yeah, that is an amazing set, guys. The set I just showed you, I do strongly recommend it. If you don't have the Herschel Gordon Lewis set, if you can get it for a good price, I really do recommend it. It is a really good set. This is just these olives are just kind of a little bonus for people that would stay here this long. Because I do like to show you guys I actually like movies that aren't C grade as well. Irreconcilable Differences was a film I really, really enjoyed. Remember that one? I knew you'd remember, James. Irreconcilable Differences with Drew Barrymore. This is a really good film. And a couple of these aren't even open, you know. Danny Kaye on The Double. I gotta watch this one soon, actually. I love Danny Kaye films. I really do. Dana Winter's in this one as well. I'm a huge Danny Kaye fan. I grew up like trying, you know, I am a modern model of a modern Major General. I used to know all that. So anything with Danny Kaye, I'm all about. His wife would like write a lot of his lines for that stuff. She was really good with that. Again, these are some good films. Like Meteor Man's definitely like an underrated, like in my opinion, in the kind of the forgotten hero films. Breeders is super sleazy and like kind of a cheesy film. Irreconcilable Differences is a great movie, and Danny Kaye. I've never gone wrong with Danny Kaye. What's my Ghostbusters? Oh, you mean the new Ghostbusters film? I'm okay with it. I do think that there's been like way too much like stuff about it. Like there's been like a lot of like there's been controversy. I think that one of the actresses from Ghostbusters the remake was kind of upset that she thought that their Ghostbusters movie was being like kind of, you know, thought less of, and this was going to be the real Ghostbusters thing. I can see both sides to that kind. I'm not going to lie to you. I hope, my sincere hope is that, I know they're using kids, right? They're going to use kids. So this is going to be like Ghostbusters, kind of like circa what I think it's going to be like. And I don't know. I don't have any like insider information. I think this is going to be Ghostbusters a la Monster Squad. This is what I kind of think we're going to get with this Ghostbusters. But I hope to God it's like 2 boys and 2 girls, that type of thing. Because then you're going to have the people that were really like, the 2016 ones were like, I kind of half like it. Doing a Texas Chainsaw video. Actually, I don't quite know yet. I actually want to do that one really soon. But I do. There is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 out there. Actually, no, I don't think it's going to be set in the past. Not as far as I know. Like, there's not a lot of details on it yet that have come out. They said it is going to involve, like, it's going to be kids. It's going to involve, like, it may involve some of the actors from the original Ghostbusters film, whether it's cameos like they did in the 2016 movie, or maybe these are the kids of the Ghostbusters. Who knows? It'd be interesting to see that. To like have somebody play like Bill Murray's kid. We'll see how that goes. I hope it's more kiddie oriented, not like in a kiddified way, but that it's for the generation that's coming out. Yeah, a passing of the torch, so to say. So that's a really good way to say it. The 2016 one, I think, I like the casting of the 2016 one. I didn't like the script. I have nothing against like a female Ghostbusters team at all. That's never been a problem with me. The problem with me was I don't think that Paul Feig was the best choice for the film. I do think if they would have done a second one, they would have actually straightened away any mistakes he had in the first one. And I don't think it was political reasons for the film. I think that's BS. People just wanted to say that. That's my thoughts. Shanks. Back to the movies. Shanks from Olive Films. This is a really different film. This is Marceau. It was very weak, actually. You edited it, Uncle? Hopefully see you next time, dude. Have a great evening there. I hope I didn't say anything to make you say bye. That's the thing. How can you do... That's the one point problem I got with the new Ghostbusters here. Yeah, I think that I don't know. I was not a fan of the 2016 one. Not because of the females. It just didn't... I think that they did the best that they could do with what they had, but what they had wasn't great. All right, okay. Have a great night there. I'm almost done anyway, so have a great evening. And we don't know, like the 2018 or 19 one may do the same thing, but it'd be interesting to see. Egon, Harold Ramis was the heart of Ghostbusters, so they gotta be kids. It's gotta be kids. It can't be someone else doing the same characters. They can't come out without Harold. You can't have the 3 older guys come out without Harold Ramis. I'm sorry. Harold Ramis was a huge part of Ghostbusters for me. Rick Moranis. I hope to God, Mark, that Rick Moranis has a small part in the new Ghostbusters film. That would be super cool. And yes, please bring back the Ecto Cooler. And this time, guys, if Ecto Cooler comes back for 2019 Ghostbusters, and we don't get it here in Canada, can somebody hook me up? Because I was so bummed when Ecto Cooler came out in 2016, and I could not find it anywhere, and I went all over my province looking for Ecto Cooler. But Shanks, Marceau, it's kind of a horror film, sort of a weird little horror film. This one's done by William Castle, by the way. I think it might have been Castle's last film, actually. He produced it. Yeah, he directed it too. But it is... SCTV, James, is one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm a huge SCTV fan. I grew up... My sense of humor was molded by SCTV and Monty Python. Those were 2 of the big things that molded my sense of humor and then the person that I am today. I have a feeling if SCTV was a real channel, I'd be on it. Rick Moranis on SCTV, by the way, kind of like showed VJs, which will come into MTV and Much Music, or MTV for the United States and Much Music for here in Canada, before VJs were existed. He actually kind of created it on his one here. This is one that I don't have open yet. I gotta watch this one, actually. I know I've seen this one years ago. It's based on Tennessee Williams' play. That is Summer and Smoke. I've only got one STV set so far, though. I really need more. I used to have a couple. I've only got one. But I got the Zontor one. You got a bunch of Canadian channels there? Man, SCTV, one of the greats, definitely one of the greats, and it stands up, stands test of time. Fridays and the original Saturday Night Live. Yeah, SCTV actually took the place of Saturday Night Live for a while. Like it would, like once a month they'd be doing like they'd be put on Saturday Night Live. So don't remember this one. I haven't really watched this one yet. I know I've seen it a long time ago, but don't remember it. So I'm not gonna lie to you. This one I don't know if I've seen. I haven't got it open yet. So this is New York with Henry Morgan. I'm a big fan of Henry Morgan. I actually watched, I listened to like a radio play on Sirius, like the channel that we got, Sirius like satellite radio, and that Henry Morgan was in, and he did such a good job in it that actually that's the reason I picked this up. I saw it and I grabbed it. It was $1. So and you know all the films never get those for $1, man. Next up is an Amicus production actually, directed by Freddie Francis from Hammer. How many discs approximately have unopened? Not a lot, actually. I'm pretty big on opening my discs right away. It's only the fact that these were HMV releases that they're not opened. But I've definitely got a few that I've gonna watch, like to be honest with you. But a lot of these films I've seen, like previously. Some films I'll go and watch the features first if I've seen the movie. Now things like Urban Legend 2, stuff like that I picked up more recently. I'll watch the movie first, and I'll dive into the features because it's been a while since I've seen them. Have I ever got a defective disc? Yes, and only recently did I realize it. I was sick, as you guys know. I was in bed. I turned on, and I'm not sure it was a defective disc, but I went to turn on Bad Influence. Bad Influence is an early Rob Lowe film. Like it's a favorite of mine. Rob Lowe and I think James Spader, if I can remember correctly. I wanted to watch it, and I don't have Ticks. Actually, that's one I need to have, and it's actually I think Ticks out of print now though. And it didn't work. I was so heartbroken. Bad Influence didn't work, and that's a movie that I really, really enjoyed. But on the good side of it, I just turned on the Shore Thing afterwards, and I really love the Shore Thing. I'm not sure if Bad Influence got like a Blu-ray. Maybe it's got a Warner Archives Blu-ray release now, but I'm not sure. But I really want to own it. You found the movie recently? See, Bad Influence is a favorite of mine. And that's one I'm definitely going to be looking for a Blu-ray of. So Deadly Bees is the Amicus film that I'm talking about. You know I like my B movies. This one gets a really bad rap. It's not a great film, but I actually enjoy it. I like the Deadly Bees. I like anything bees. Anything bees or like nature-oriented. I'm not so much on the spiders. They kind of creep me out. But the Deadly Bees I do like. And definitely last but not least for my Olive Films collection right here, it is Night of the Demons 2. The sequel to Night of the Demons. I really wanted this one to come out from Scream Factory because they put out the original Night of the Demons. Has anybody put out Night of the Demons 3 on Blu-ray yet? Because there is a Night of the Demons 3. I haven't seen it if it is. But I definitely like this. Yes, actually, James, I used to at one point own Kingdom of the Spotters, and I will own it again with Shatner, right? William Shatner. A Tough Turf. I really need Tough Turf. And New Kids needs release, by the way, too. They came at the same time. 3 isn't out yet. I didn't think so. But definitely check this one out, guys. It's a fun sequel, and it goes in a different direction. Now, Tough Turf, yeah, that was coming out by Kino. Is New Kids coming out? Has New Kids been announced yet? Because I really want New Kids too. Back in the day, they didn't quite know what to do with James Spader. So they put out 2 movies. They put out Tough Turf and they put out New Kids. And one of them, James Spader, is the hero. He's the hero guy. In the other film, James Spader is the villain, the dastardly evil villain. Because James Spader was one of the kind of those unique actors, very good actor, but he could kind of do anything. But the certain roles kind of just fit him. You know, like when he's playing the sleazy like rich friend, or when he's playing the kind of like the boss and secretary, or the kind of the weird liar. New Kids on the Block. Am I a New Kids on the Block fan? Actually, well, New Kids is not New Kids on the Block. It's a great James Spader film. But you know what? I did listen to New Kids on the Block back in the day. I was in college when New Kids on the Block came out. I'm older. But I did actually, because we used to have like a lot of parties. I was lucky enough that I moved in my college years. Me and three girls actually moved in together. And another guy, and we had a house. So we had every weekend we'd have parties there, and I got New Kids on the Block, actually the whatever their first one was, Hanging Tough I'm not sure if that was the name of it, but it had Hanging Tough on it. So actually, I did mind it. It was pretty cool. I had Roxette as well. So if you remember Roxette is their band, you probably don't remember, but Roxette was the other one. Sex, Lies, and Videotapes, a fantastic film. One of the actors that I strongly relate to is James Spader, because I just feel, to quote Suzanne Vega, left of center. And I have, for a large portion of my life, a little different, a little out there, marching to the beat of my own drummer, kind of in between, like, clicks, I guess you want to say. There you go. That's the best example. That's the best thing I can say, like, to describe myself. But there you go. And also I'm a Suzanne Vega fan. So you know that. You found that out tonight. The song Luca really, yeah, that one gets to me. So guys, there you go at 135 minutes. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one tonight. I wanted to go all in. I wanted to show you guys. I haven't picked. You know I didn't pick up 5 slips, dude. You must be, you got to be new here if you're asking about the 5 slips. That was the weirdest study I've ever seen for any movie ever. Why did you do 5 slips? I can understand if you're a collector and you wanted the slips, all that, but I could not. I haven't picked up Cutting Class yet. I'm hoping to get it on their next sale, sand slip. But if they got a slip, they're fantastic. If they don't, it doesn't really matter. Thanks, Mark. I really do appreciate that, because I actually do kind of like try to put as much work as I can in here, and my videos are longer, so I understand that some people may find it daunting and may not like get into watching them because they are longer. I watch a lot of your videos. Like you guys here that make videos, I don't get to watch them all the time, and I don't always get to comment as much as I like to, but I try to catch up and watch as many people as possible. You guys, I'm just as big as fans of you guys are of your guys' channels as you hopefully are of this one. And I find a lot out from just listening to you guys on here, and like watching your videos and the stuff that you do, whether it's like Cubic Lover's latest haul video, or 13 Wolfman's latest review, or I don't even know how to make a person. I was asked about that recently. If I get any troll issues, I'm definitely keeping you in mind, because then I'll do the mod thing. I haven't had a mod on here yet. If we do have trolls, we'll definitely do that. What do I think about MIB4? I'm so super excited about Men in Black 4. It's international, of course. I don't really think it's 4 so much as, I guess it's kind of 4, but it's Men in Black International. So I've been kind of wanting this, because we've seen Will Smith and we've seen Tommy Lee Jones, and we've seen Josh Brolin too as a young Tommy Lee Jones, but there's so many Men in Black like that they could do, that this is exciting to see them spin it off with different actors and an actress as well. I'm actually really excited about Men in Black. I'm hoping it'll be really good, and I'm hoping they'll have a good song as well, because I dig the Men in Black 1 song, and I don't remember what Men in Black 2 song is. Thanks a lot. And Men in Black 3 with Pitbull. Actually, I like that. My favorite Vinegar Syndrome slip. Actually, dude, I don't know. It's up between Pets for me, and I love Pets, but I also love I love this one here. I love. Like, I know it's not as polished as the Demon one is, but there's just something about it that I really enjoy. Terror is definitely in the running for best slips. It's just amazing the way they did that. Thank you, James, because this was, I would never have gotten this without James. This one went out of print way too fast, and I did not get my Norman J. Warren love on enough before then. But there, bloody New Year, the next Norman J. Warren to come out. It is hard to pick just one. Tell you what, I'll do a video in the future where I'll give you my top 10 Vinegar Syndrome slips. How's that? I'll put that into one of my videos in the near future. So there you go, guys. But right now, at almost 4 o'clock in the morning, with an over 2-hour long video, I do have to say, I can see by the clock on the wall that it's time to bid you one and all goodbye. Overall, I'm a huge Wayne and Schuster fan. If you don't know Wayne and Schuster's, look him up. Actually, it's time for tea and it's time for chamomile tonight. So thanks for watching, guys. Mark's great to see you on here. Michael, James, thank you for coming back. I was actually starting to get worried about you. I was going to send you a message tonight, by the way. Movie Madness, Scouter, Celluloid, Brian from Just a Disc, if you actually made it this far, dude. Dekatana, Hoax, everybody that's out there, thank you so much for watching. Culture Trini, I will see you guys later here in the movie library. I'm just Aaron, just little old me. Glad you haven't left, James, because you've been missed. You guys are the movie club, and you guys are awesome. Without all of you, none of this would exist. And I'm just glad that it does, because at times you guys turn my frown upside down. Have a great evening, guys, and I will see you next time right here in the movie club, because right now it is the fallback I want.